Hey everybody, welcome back to Cosmic Life Astrology. Today we are talking about Pluto in Aquarius, where it will remain for the next 20 years. So as I'm taping this today on November 19th, Pluto has finally made its entrance into Aquarius. And we have seen in the past 2 years, Pluto tiptoeing into Aquarius and then backing into Capricorn to finish the work that it started 16 years ago when it entered Capricorn. And so Pluto has been working on demolishing structures that are no good, getting rid of things that are hidden underneath that need to be revealed so we can build strong, firm foundations in our world and in our individual lives. And now that the demo work is done, we are charting on new territory. So Pluto going into Aquarius is going to be a very different energy. You know, Pluto and Capricorn, it's a Saturn ruled sign and could be very karmic because it's Saturn ruled, as well as very, very timely kind of evolution where we felt like things were changing at a very slow pace. Now, I consider Uranus the ruler of Aquarius. That is the modern ruler. People also considered Saturn because Saturn is the ancient ruler of Aquarius, but I believe that Uranus is the more appropriate ruler of Aquarius. So we're going to focus on that to be just short about it. Now, Aquarius is known to be a rebel, but also known to be very quirky and very different and unique. And as I say very often in my videos when it comes to Aquarius, they like to march to the beat of their own drum. Mercury retrograde coming up. They march to the beat of their own drum. And so, you know, in this time of Pluto being in Aquarius, we're going to see people doing things very differently than the way that they've been done before, which is very much welcomed as we gotten rid of, things that were being done before because that's what we were told we had to do, or that's what was expected of us in Capricorn, right? And so now we have Pluto making, an entrance into Aquarius, which is a very fresh, new energy. As a whole, we're going to see AI, continue to be utilized and exist in our society. To what extent, I don't know. I can say personally, I don't want AI taking over our society and robots to be roaming our earth and things of that extreme. But my hope for all of us is that we continue to use advanced technology for our greater benefit. And I think with what we've learned while Pluto was in Capricorn is that, doing things behind the scenes that hurt other people is not going to fly anymore. And so, there's been this push in our society to do things with integrity, do things that truly can help people, that truly are of quality, right? And as we see advancements in technology, we may also see new discoveries in the outer world, as far as aliens and maybe new things that we're learning about the planets or other galaxies, whatever it may be, we can definitely expect this to grow over the next 20 years. And we can see revolutionary information come about where people are gaining more of an understanding of the universe and universal energies and the spiritual side of life and how the planets do really affect us and what planets are truly, able to, be a habitat for humanity if we needed it. To me, as much as I'm open-minded about things, I can't imagine a world where we're sending people to go live on another planet. But maybe that's something that will be, generations to come. With Pluto and Aquarius, we can also expect a lot of humanitarian work to be done. Because Aquarius is very much humanitarian. They are not afraid to be activists and campaign for helping others. And, Aquarius is very much community focused and social. And so there's going to be, a lot of focus on our community. And Pluto is going to help bring change to our community that can unite us. I think we can all say that, the division that has been caused, especially as, old structures were getting demolished and, people had to acclimate to that, acclimate to things that had to be revealed, to see what the truth of the matter was. It caused a lot of division in our society. And I think that when Pluto is in Aquarius, it can help us come back together and really work together to bring change. With Uranus being the ruler of Aquarius, Uranus is a higher octave of Mercury. And so the energy is very intellectual, very much, out of the box thinking, outer worldly, imagination and progressive movement, not afraid to be, a lone wolf and, march on your own if needed, not afraid to be different. And so, I think that is a beautiful thing that we can put to greater use. Because if we're all more present, we can really tap into things that we may not have seen before. And, as we're going through this new evolution while Pluto's in Aquarius, and we see tech evolutions take place, which, we know to expect. My hope is that in the evolution of technology and AI and things of that sort, that the addiction that we've seen in our society to screens, computers, social media, all sorts of technology on an individual level disintegrates. Because in the process of our society becoming addicted to all these tech things, we have not been present in our individual reality or present about our collective reality and what's going on in the world. And I think it's really important, if we want to improve our society, for people to become more present. And to do that, we have to not be afraid to be different, to say, you know what, no, I don't need to play that game on my phone for 2 hours when my kids are, really needing my attention or some bonding time with me, or whatever the case may be. I think, we have to tap into Aquarius's individuality and unique energy and not be afraid to do things differently. Not be afraid to be progressive as an individual and society. It is very, very, very significant for the US that our inauguration day in January is also the day that the sun will conjunct Pluto. That foretells what kind of presidency we can expect for the next 4 years. Now, the sun conjuncting Pluto is very much, a powerful force. Obviously, a powerful force for change in Aquarius, and shows that there will be a highlight of these Aquarian energies of thinking outside the box, being a humanitarian, campaigning to help others and be more community focused on what's going to help the people, the individual people, not the corporate people, not the international businesses or, you know, all these other people, but the people here in our country. And again, I'm talking about the US presidency. For those of you outside of the US, obviously this doesn't apply to you, but I wanted to mention that because it's very symbolic. We can expect to see a great shift of power. We can expect to see a very unique way of handling our government and our society and our community as a country. We can expect to see things being done outside of the box. Things are not going to be cookie cutter to what prior presidents' approaches may have been. Things are going to be done differently. And we already can see this as a country, because if you look at the way that Donald Trump is going about picking certain people to be in his cabinet, he's picking people with very significant strengths in very critical topics that need evolution: our healthcare, our technology, our economy, our senior citizens, our taxes. There's so many strategically chosen people that are being brought to the table to help the collective and to address the things that need to be addressed and corrected for the betterment of the people. We saw this happen in history with King Arthur, and I've said this to friends. King Arthur wasn't just a great leader and, you know, obviously a name that we still know of today, but he was great because, you know, they talk about King Arthur and the Knights of Templar and, you know, and the Round Table, right? He brought people together that had specific strengths in things that really needed to be utilized to help the community. And he said to all of them, okay, you have this strength, that strength, and whatnot. How can we all come together with our individual strengths? Obviously, they all have differences, but they all had individual things that they brought to the table that when they bring it together, it was brought together for the sake of goodness for the people and utilized as a tool to make things happen. And so we have a similar approach being done now. And that's very much Pluto and Aquarius, where, you know, a different approach is being taken. And there's very much a community focus on what's good for the people. What do the people want and need? And using, you know, people that have those capabilities, that, you know, progressive, forward-thinking, you know, strong suits in whatever mastery that they have, to be problem solvers together. And so I'm very hopeful that the things that the US has seen as problems can now come to a resolve, especially over the next 4 years. And my hope is that that momentum will continue even beyond that, and that this will just be a moment in time that changed things for the future of generations to come. Pluto and Aquarius, for everyone as a whole, is going to be very unique and very different. And this is a time to honor your uniqueness, not be afraid to go outside of your comfort zone, not be afraid to, be the leader of the pack and take the bull by the horns and, and, be proactive about things and, and help other people when you're able to, but also being able to be innovative in your own world. Wherever Aquarius lands in your chart, you're going to be innovating that area of your life over the next 20 years. And so unless you have natal planets in the very early degrees of Aquarius, say the first 2-3 degrees, you're not necessarily going to see anything significant happen from today on, because Pluto travels very slow. And over the next year, we're only going to see it, it'll go to like 3 degrees Aquarius, and then it will retrograde. And then by this time next year, it's going to be at like 1 degree Aquarius. So over the 20-year span, Pluto has to travel 30 degrees in the zodiac sign of Aquarius. So essentially we're talking, it's going to travel a little over 1 degree a year, between its forward motion and its retrograde cycle. That's obviously not a lot of territory to cover, right? So this is going to be a slow evolution, as we see. That is how Pluto operates, but one that benefits not only your life in a long-term perspective, but for, generations to come. And my, my perspective on Pluto and Aquarius is a very positive one, because of the fact that, for one, we are out of that heavy, karmic, timely, slow-moving Capricorn energy. And Pluto being in an air sign is going to be, I feel like it's going to be a breath of fresh air, literally, because Aquarius is a lighter energy, and it is very different, but also, Aquarius is very fun and unique, and like I said, likes to be social, is very community focused. And so this can be a time where you find new ways of enjoying life as well, and revolutionize what your way of living is, whether it's through your career or through, the mundane ways of operating in your life. You may, come to see that, you have certain habits or ways of being that just aren't serving you. It's, and you want to do things differently, bring a little more fun to your routines or to your life, as a whole, where you may venture on to new hobbies and, go travel to new places that you've never been before, and study new things that are completely, out of the box. Like I said, Pluto, Aquarius is outer worldly. You could find yourself studying, astronomy, astrology, aliens, about the universe and universal energies and, spirituality, whatever it is for you. This evolution will change you, as it did while Pluto was in Capricorn. Pluto changes people. It's a process of death and rebirth that is very much needed in whatever realm of life that it's needed, okay? So I don't want this to be foreseen as something fearful. It is for our spiritual evolution and our soul's journey, and this is just one factor that can help us move things along and bring us to places that we need to be in our life, to do things differently and honor our uniqueness as the people that we are. So I hope this helps you understand what to expect. Obviously, this is what to expect for the next 20 years. This is not something short term. We're going to be talking about Pluto in Aquarius for a long time. I do want to note, excuse my voice, this week, as Pluto is just getting into Aquarius, we're going to see Pluto make a sextile to the Sun in Sagittarius. And that's a wonderful way to welcome Pluto into Aquarius, because Sagittarius is very hopeful, very positive, upbeat, and, you know, very much about adventure and, you know, positivity, and wants to learn, and, you know, is all about the truth and what's right, and is very opportunistic. And so, you know, the Sun being in Sag with that positive energy, making a sextile to Pluto, as it's just, you know, it's like walking through the door into Aquarius right now. And it's being welcomed like the Sun in Sag threw a surprise party for Pluto. And it was like, surprise, like, hey, not that that's Sag energy, but that's the kind of optimism that I feel from this sextile, is that, you know, you may see during the sextile something, you know, optimistic that comes your way, whether it's in the form of communication or in the form of something, you know, happening around you, where you get to see a glimpse of what Pluto and Aquarius is going to do for you. And this can also be where you can see things differently, and can understand the journey ahead, the optimism ahead, the opportunity that lies ahead for you, and have a very positive approach to what is possible with the Sun sextiling Pluto, especially in Sagittarius. I love this. I think this is a great way to start off the cycle, and it's I think, a very much needed positive energy that most of us can really benefit from right now. So this is the next 20 years. Pluto and Aquarius, a whole different ball game, a different way of operating. This is going to be a very unique time for us individually and collectively. And we will continue to talk about it as Pluto, you know, will be active in Aquarius, and there will be different transits that's going to affect its energy in Aquarius. But again, this is slow moving. I would not fear this. It is something we're going to be working through over a 20-year span. So this is just my interpretation of what to expect. Obviously, look at your chart, see if you have anything natally in the first few degrees of Aquarius, because as Pluto reaches those natal planets, it will activate that planet's energy. And that can give you an idea of what's going to be revolutionized when they meet up. So I hope this helps you. Stay tuned for my next video, which will be on the Mercury retrograde, which is starting next week. We're already in shadow, you know, hence my Gemini little blips here and there, because I'm Mercury ruled. And so Gemini rising, sorry. But Mercury retrograde, this is going to be an interesting one, especially with a new moon a few days after. Stay tuned for it. I'll be back with more. Take care, everybody.